Okay, so this presentation is about Outlook. Anybody use it?
Yep.
A little bit?
Yep.
A little bit.
Kind of.
Okay, kind of use it. So what I'm going to try to do today is just show you some tips and tricks about Outlook that may help ease your day and make things a little bit more efficient in the Outlook environment.
And if you have a question, just pop up. Pop in.
Yes, if I'm missing something, just let me know. We also have this little learning guide that you're more than welcome to take with you that's just got some tips and tricks that'll help you. And also we have some trinkets, some blue sky notepads and pins and everything like that. So the first thing I want to ask you is, does anybody have a Gmail account?
Yes.
Yeah.
So most of you use Gmail and things like that as your... Okay, so when you check your Gmail, how do you do it? Do you use the web interface?
I just click on the icon on the bottom of my computer and it pops right up.
You
my
mean web interface, like on
Are you going on? Are you going up to the? Of course, it helps.
Well, mine pops up at the top and says Gmail, and I just put the icon on
Yeah, go to the
Gmail.
website and it's a web interface.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that you could connect your Gmail into Outlook? So you could use your Outlook to check your email from your Gmail account.
That's how I do mine.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you how you can do that. So what I'm going to do is close my Outlook, and I'm going to click on Start, and that button happens to be over here. I'm going to click on Start and go to Control Panel on my computer, and I'll bring the Control Panel up. And in Control Panel, there's an option called Mail. And I'm going to click on the Mail icon, and I'm going to double click it this time. And a box popped up. It's right there. And this allows me to create connected to my email accounts. Now, I already have my email connected to our corporate email, to our Blue Sky Technologies email. So I'm going to go ahead and create something, which comes over to this page again. And I'm going to create a new profile and call it Gmail.
So how do you do that?
I clicked on Add, and I typed in Gmail, and I clicked OK. And when I do that, it's going to say, hey, what type of email account do you want to connect into? And it wants some information. And the cool thing about Outlook 2010 is you don't have to give it a lot of information. I have to give it my name. I have to give it my email address. And I have to give it my password. Don't anybody watch this. I'm not sure what it is. Looks just like your password, doesn't it?
You're using mine.
Victoria.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to click Next. And the cool thing is, all we have to do now is just wait. The system is contacting the Gmail servers. It's establishing a network connection to the Gmail servers, and which it already has done. And it's now trying to find the raltman@gmail.com account. And this may take a minute or two for it to find it and everything. Once it finds it, it's going to log into the system, log into the account. So we've got a little bit
While
of
you're
time.
doing
Well, we
that,
want to talk
is there any
about,
possibility that I would hit Control Panel and I would not have the word mail come up?
If you hit Control Panel and you don't have the word mail, I'll show you what you have. But I actually can't show you that. Probably when you hit Control Panel, you may have that view. That's the default view of Control Panel.
Okay.
If you have that view and you don't see mail,
Actually, I have the other view, but.
no, how about if you have that?
if you have that view, then click on Category, and I like small icons. Click into small icons, and then you'll see mail.
Okay.
Microsoft thinks the other one's easier. The category view is easier. They did that to make life easier, and I think it's a little bit more difficult. And you can see now that it is established connection. It found my email account, and it was logged onto the server and actually sent a test message to make sure everything worked. And I click finish, and I now have the Gmail profile, and if I click OK, I'm going to duplicate my screen
When you
first.
typed your email address, did you type richardaltman@gmail.com or did you type richardaltman@blueskytechnologies.com?
I did raltman@gmail.com
Okay,
because it's my Gmail account.
okay.
And now I'm going to click on Outlook. I'm going to start Outlook. And now I'm going to close Outlook. And now I'm going to go back into Control Panel and make one other modification.
Were we
Because
on the
I
pool
have,
party?
because I have, did you see the pool?
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm wondering. We didn't get an invite.
It's the pool for our subdivision. I'm going to go to Show Profiles, and since I have two email accounts, I need to tell it to prompt for which email account I want to look at. And I'm going to click OK there. This is, you probably won't have to do this. I have to do this because I've got my corporate email. Now I'm going to start Outlook, and Outlook is going to say, well, which one do you want? And I'm just going to show you right now, there's Gmail. I can click OK, and it's now loading that Gmail profile. And there it is, and you'll notice there's no email in there right now because it's never been downloaded yet. This is the first time I've connected into Gmail with Outlook. So it'll actually prepare to download. It's downloading the folder structure from the Gmail system, and you'll start seeing emails coming in. And it's just connecting in, and it's downloading everything from my Gmail account. Well, hopefully not everything. Well, yes it is. 46,495 emails are about to come into this system.
Holy cow. You know delete?
Well, you know, in
And
Gmail,
trash?
Gmail is in storage forever, so I never delete the Gmail stuff.
Really?
And you'll notice, remember when I told you that it had an Outlook message? So there's the Outlook test message.
Yeah.
Now, I'm actually going to close this account because I don't want to use this account. I'm going to use my corporate account.
Can I ask you to maybe go back one step? I have two accounts also, and you did something, you had to tell it.
Yes,
Which-
okay, I'll do that again. I had to go into Control Panel,
Yeah.
and I opened up the mail, and it opens up this, and I opened up the Show Profiles. And at the bottom, I told it to prompt.
Richard, I don't want to step on you, but I was going to ask, are you going to show them how to have both of them open at the same time?
Well, in this particular scenario, you can't. You can't have, in this particular, since they're two separate profiles, you can only have one Outlook profile open at the same time. You have another option in Gmail, because I like to keep mine separate, because I don't want them, they're intermingling. You do have another option in Outlook where you can, did you get this written down?
Yeah.
Okay, you have another option in Outlook where you can add a second account to it. And I opted not to do it that way. If you want to add a second account to it, you can click on File, Account Settings, and go to the account settings. Actually, I can't do it from this one because I'm not in the right Gmail account. Let me go back to it. See which one I'm in.
I think you can add that. I didn't.
Click
I'm
on
sorry.
Add
There you
Account
go.
right here.
There you go.
I can click on Add Account and I can go add the Gmail account to this profile. That way it would, if I did that, I would have the inbox for rollman at Blue Sky, and I would have another inbox for rollman at gmail.com. And you can have multiple accounts that way. I just choose to keep mine separate. This way you could have 400,000 emails all at once.
Yeah. And you can sort them.
Oh yeah, we're going to get into that.
Great.
We're going to get into that. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you is a signature. So every time I click on a new email, it pops up over here. you will see that all of this information is already in there. This is my signature. So I've already put in thank you, put in my name, what I do, all my information, put in our little logo of let's get together and talk. I'll tell you a story. At first, I put that up top instead of thank you. I changed that to let's get together and talk. And as soon as I did that and started sending emails to people, they would reply back to me saying, I really don't have time to talk right now. And I had to say, well, I really didn't mean it that way. It was just kind of so we moved it to put it down here so people would kind of get what we were talking about.
Unquote.
So, everybody, I think it's a good idea to have a signature. In fact, I actually complain about people that don't have signatures or don't put anything on there because it's a way for me to contact you. It's my contact information coming into you. Now, I'm also going to say that you can do all sorts of things with this signature. You could go in there and put in a link to Facebook, and you could put in a link to all of your fun stuff. You could go put your picture in there, but I will tell you, the more stuff you put into that, the larger the email gets. And also, if you start putting in pictures and stuff like that, they become attachments to the email. So if I get an email from you and you've put in 8 pictures in there, and especially on my phone is going to have 8 different attachments I'm going to have to look at. And I'm going to think, is this a real attachment? And I open it up and it's your picture. So be wary of that you kind of don't do something like
And the
that.
second thing is, when you start putting all those attachments and things, a lot of companies, you will not be able to get that email. They'll
Yeah,
block
they
the
may
email.
block the email too.
Because a lot of companies don't want you going to Facebook or going here or going there. So when you start putting the chamber has a whole bunch of them, and one of my accounts, they won't, I don't get it, so I always have to go to junk mail. Because we don't want all those accounts open. It just
We
slows it down.
actually remember, we heard of a bank down the street saying that they don't even see a lot of chambers
Right.
stuff because of all the images that it pulls
Yeah, the
through.
images.
I don't get that.
And a lot of people I know, like on one of mine.
So
Not
be
that we're
careful.
trashing
So
your
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
it's a great idea to
Yeah,
have.
that's Mark.
But be really careful on what you're doing, especially if you're trying to reach out to a company, and it might be a large corporate company or something, because they have very strict guidelines on what they will let go into the company. So that's why we just keep it real simple.
Good.
Okay, I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to click on Options. And this is where you can kind of change all of the capabilities of your Outlook client from here. And the first one I'm going to show you is in Mail, and it's Signatures. And you'll see that I have a signature called Blue Sky. And what I did was I created a Blue Sky, and I put everything I want in there for Blue Sky. And just to show you how to do that, I'm going to click New. And I'm going to name this one Red Sky.
What was your second step? You had file, then what?
Fine. I'll just walk back through it again. I clicked on File, Options, Mail, Signatures. And I think it's actually in this shortcut. If not, I'm creating a list. And I'm gonna tell you, because I'm putting it into a blog, all of the stuff that we're doing, we're actually gonna blog it. And we're gonna put a signature in there, and then you click New. And I'm just, like I said, I'm gonna name this one Red Sky. And click OK. And at that point, you can put anything you want in there. This is, oh wait. Thanks. And then I can put a comma and Wilbur,
Oh.
Wilbur Weebelmeister. Hey, that's actually my nickname.
The Weebelmeister, right?
There's a lot
Of the famous
access.
Weebelmeisters, you know. 555-121. You know, I gave a lot of people this as my mobile phone number. Never can get on you. And if you want, you can highlight everything and you can change it from Calibri to Gothic Standard, whatever you want it to do. You can set it as a business, you can insert a business card if you've got one. You can do anything you want. And then at this point, you'll see an option up here, choose the default signatures. So what it has is when I click a new email, it's going to go with Blue Sky. When I click a reply and forward, it's going to open up the Blue Sky. So I'm going to change this and put it into Red Sky and click OK and show you what happens. So now when I click new email, the Red Sky signature comes up. But remember, when I did a reply, Blue Sky was on there. So if I grab a particular email like this and click reply, it comes back with the Blue Sky signature. So you could have 2 or 3 different signatures and have a different signature for reply and a different signature for new emails if you want. Or if you have multiple accounts and you're showing it, you can have it, for this account I want this reply, for this account I want this signature.
How did you do it to where it automatically is in there? Because like mine, I'm having to grab it and add a signature, add my signature in there every time.
Okay, click on File, go to Options, go to Mail, Signatures, and right over here in the upper
So where's-
right,
You need
say
to
for
pick
new
what it's supposed to
messages,
have.
choose the signature.
So you gotta check.
Does
your
that word
email.
automatic make a difference? Like,
What word
see,
on it?
automatic. And then I'm on the
No,
one
this-
that sees-
this will
no,
be
no,
the
no,
default.
go
Oh,
down.
go down to.
Is that where it says
the,
automatic? Does that make a difference?
Oh, no, that's the
that's
color.
color scheme. Okay.
That's the colors.
Because mine, I'm having to grab my signature every time.
You
Then
probably
I would
have
go
it.
check to see if these settings
Okay.
are in there.
You know, I think I know the answer to this, but like on mine, I'm there, but right above where you say Richard, on the bottom left there where it says thank you Richard, right above Richard, Roger in my case, there's 2 dashes there. I always have to go down and get rid of them. There must be something when I put it in.
Yeah, they're probably in the
I need
signature.
to go back and.
Go back and edit the signature and clean it out. Okay, I've got Blue Sky on both now, so I'm back to normal.
And in that business card, will that take a lot of space?
No, it's
Yeah.
not bad. You could send your business card in there. That way they can click on the business card and save
I
you
think
as a
that's what I'm
contact.
doing, and I'm adding it because I downloaded my business card.
Okay. Now I'm going to tell you something that I don't want you to do. Email is a potential virus haven, right? It's one of the biggest spreading of viruses. And I just spent several hours yesterday cleaning up a virus called CryptoLogic from a client. And that virus attacks your computer and encrypts every document file on your computer. And then says, if you give me $500, we'll give you the key to unlock everything. And it is a very good virus. You have to pay the ransom to get if you want to get the stuff back, or you have to pay somebody a lot of money to decrypt the documents. We can get rid of the virus, but the encryption is really locked in. And if you pay the ransom, there's no chance that you're actually going to get the key to get it back. And it happens by opening up an email and the virus attacks. It's not in the attachment, it's in the actual email itself. So you want to make sure that you have a really good email scanning utility. I will tell you, if you're using Gmail, you've got one of the best email antivirus scanning utilities running. But you need to make sure you have a good one. If you're working for a corporation, make sure they have a good antivirus. But we had somebody doing this. If we scroll all the way down to the bottom of this, there's an option in here under Other called after moving or deleting an open item. Right now this one's set to return to the current folder. They had it set to open the next item. Which means when they open one email and close it, it just automatically opens the next one. And when they close it, it automatically opens the next one. It's just auto-opening, so they don't have to go back and double-click it again. They think it's more convenient. It's also a way to automatically get a virus.
Because you can always go over and see what the
Yeah, the
message
preview
is.
pane will not infect the virus because it hasn't been opened yet. So don't do this. If you are doing this, come in here and undo this because you're taking a big chance of getting a virus.
And we keep it on what, return to the current.
Return to the current folder, which just takes you back to the original folder. Now, I will tell you what I do have. Okay. I'm going to close that for a second. Now, I have to, again, change my, I have to duplicate my screen so you can see what's going on here. It'll cause my screen to go a little weird. I'm going to close Outlook. And you see that on my taskbar, Outlook is still there. The reason it's still there is because I pinned it to the taskbar. And this is an option in a Windows 7 computer that when you open up something, you can pin it to the taskbar. Which, I know this is Windows 7, but there's a cool thing with this. Since it's pinned to the taskbar, do you see what happens when I right-click it? Do you see there's an option for new email message, new appointment, new meeting, new contact, new task? So if I do this and just click on new appointment, well, now it's going to ask me which contact. It is actually just going to open this up. It's going to open up a new appointment, and I can fill it in and click send, and if Outlook is opened and minimized, it'll just automatically send it for me. So I don't have to always go back to the Outlook to get things. You can just right-click the quick launch, and it's called a jump list. You can right-click the jump list, and you can start a new email, you can start a new meeting, a new email message, a new task, a new contact, anything, just very quickly by using the jump list.
And it was that populating your calendar, your Outlook?
It'll pop, if it's a new appointment for me, it'll automatically populate my calendar.
Is
Okay?
it like when people send a calendar to your phone?
It could be, yeah, it could be. Now, since we're talking meetings and calendars, do we do a meeting or we do an appointment? What's the difference between the two? Because in my mind, sometimes they sound like the same thing. I mean, do I make it? So I'm trying to keep my calendar up. My boss is really adamant about me doing that. Her employee is really bad about doing it. So,
Who's that?
so her employee said, well, why don't you set the meetings up? So the question becomes, do I make it a meeting or do I make it an appointment?
Meetings invite other people, and
A group and
appointments is
one-on-one.
just for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Appointments are for me, meetings are when I want other people. So if you're just making an appointment that I need to go do something, just make it in a meeting, just make it an appointment. If I'm trying to send an invitation out to everybody else, make it a meeting. Okay, now let me show you this. I'm going to go in here and open up Outlook again. Now I don't have to look up there anymore, because it's all in front of me. And I'm going to click on,
Under me on this left side.
yeah, do you see the calendar right here?
Yeah.
There's my calendar.
Yes.
Okay, and there's my contacts, and there's my tasks, and there's my notes. And if you'll see when I mouse over that, it says task control 4, contacts control 3. Does anybody like to use keyboard shortcuts?
No.
No? Okay, well if you did, I'm getting an evil look up down there. If you did, if I hit control 1, it takes me to mail. If I hit control 2, it takes me to the calendar. So you could, that does speed things up.
Is that for everyone, or is it, you set that up?
No, that is the default out-of-the-box Outlook
So
shortcuts.
for me, F2 would get me to the calendar just like that.
Yeah, control. Hold the control key
Control.
down and hit the number 2.
Oh, okay, control 2.
Okay, let's create a new meeting. If I go to new meeting, I have to go, who's this to? And if you'll notice that there's just a field where you're just typing in addresses. If you actually click on to, if you're in a corporate environment like we are, it'll bring up your corporate email list, your corporate address list. So I could add in Victoria and make her required. If you have an address book, a contact in Outlook, you can flip it to your contacts and you can choose any one of your contacts. So I could scroll down and choose, better choose somebody that's, well, I don't know who I want, so I'm not going to choose anybody. And then you can set an optional person to come in, and then if you need resources, like if you've got a conference room, you can schedule the conference room in that. And then you can click OK. You can put the subject. Where are we going tonight?
Liberty Mound,
Oh, good.
where you are.
Oh boy. Liberty Mounds graduation. Right, you're going because you're set to required. 96 and Garnet.
Ashley and I have an appointment.
And then you can set the time. It's going to be at 7 o'clock, 7:30, and you can type in whatever you want to type in and click send. Apparently it doesn't like that. And it sends it. You'll notice that in my email, it's already set. She'll have an email that she can accept it or decline it.
How do you merge that with your phone?
I just
How do you merge your contacts with your
I
phone?
think if you sync it, I think that's gonna go to your
How do you
phone.
sync it though?
What?
How can you sync your contacts in your phone and your
It
Outlook?
depends.
If it depends on your phone system. I'm using Active Sync, so any contacts that are on my Outlook
Right.
are automatically
So I have an
automatically
iPhone,
synced.
so I mean, should I actively put it?
If
to
you're using
sync?
Active Sync to connect into your email, but you're not because you have a hosted email system.
Don't get technical.
Okay, so yours may not, because it's not coming from an Exchange server or a major email server, so it won't automatically
Now, if
sync.
you don't have a server, she just uses her laptop. You don't connect into your company doesn't have a server. So everything you do, you just do off your laptop to email.
So like if I wanted
Then-
to invite people from my desktop computer to send out
Sync it with your iTunes.
with my iTunes. Oh crap. Then I'd have to bring in my husband.
Watch this. I'm going to decline that deal tonight.
Hey, there's these other icons that you could send them back.
But if you had a business BlackBerry phone, isn't BlackBerry more user-friendly when it comes to emails and connecting versus iPhones?
If you're on Mac and Mac, would it be?
I have never been a BlackBerry person. And BlackBerries have been around for a long time. I
Right.
think they're actually kind of dying system. I don't think it is, because from my standpoint, if it was my company, I would have to pay $8,000 for the BlackBerry server so we could get your phones to sync up. And I can sync up the Windows phones, anything that's using the Active Sync application, it's built into the email system already. I don't have to pay extra for that. So I personally think with the iPhones and the newer systems that the Active Sync is the way to go
Okay.
because it's much more efficient.
Is that Active Sync on the
app?
Active Sync is on the Androids too.
Androids
Yeah,
also?
the Androids, pretty much every phone has Active Sync on it.
Yeah, I know people send me things through
Mhm.
I
their
used
calendar
a-
and I use it.
Yeah.
I
So
got
I should be able to send as long as their information is
Yeah.
plugged
I
in
can
on my
create a
desktop.
calendar event on my phone and it'll sync up to my email here.
Okay.
I have my phone set to use this email account. So actually my phone has 5 different email accounts on it.
The things you're showing here, does it change anything you're saying if a person has Windows 8?
That's what I want to do.
No,
Okay.
no, because this is actually the application Outlook 2010.
Okay.
Windows 8 is the operating system.
Okay.
In fact,
Richard, how do you put your company email to your phone? Link your company email to your phone.
That's under.
You see, I already have my Gmail already linked in here. But
right,
then on my company email, I was thinking, well, I could go ahead and do that and then link it to my phone.
well, you ask your company, is it an Exchange server?
Okay.
If it is, on your iPhone, you click on Settings,
Wait just a second.
Oh, I'm a fast writer. Okay, settings.
Settings, Mail, Contacts, and Calendars. Click on Add Account, and you'll have a choice of iCloud, Exchange, Google, Yahoo, AOL, Outlook.com, or other. And if
Okay.
you choose Exchange, you just put in your name and your email address and your password, and it'll go find everything.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, contact your email administrator and ask him what it'll tell you what settings it needs.
Okay.
And then it'll connect right in.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there a way, if you set up a meeting, but Crystal sets it up, she sends it to me, but I need to edit it, is there a way to do that?
Can you edit the
Can I
meeting?
edit her meetings that she sets?
She has to
You
give
can-
you permission.
You can, yeah, if she gives you permission to edit, or you can suggest a different time.
See my other.
Okay.
But she's in control of the meeting.
Okay, so how did she do that?
Well, she just created a new meeting,
That's
so
right, they did that.
she can go edit it. All you can do is open it up. I can
I
go
can open
into
it,
Liberty
yeah.
Mounds since she's declined it or whatever. And see, she did, I've noticed
One
she
decline.
declined. And I can go send an update
Mhm.
with any new information, just send the update back to her
Mhm.
if I've changed something, and she should get something back again. I didn't change it.
But if Crystal has the meeting set up and I need to change it,
You
She has to
Crystal
do
will need to
permission?
change- Yeah, she'll have to give you permission to edit her calendars.
okay.
Okay. Look, she declined it.
And you sent it back to me?
I know, I'm still trying. So, another new thing that's happened in Outlook 2010 is something called a quick step. Okay? It just tries to speed some of your processing up. So, I have things like, I'm the president of the Bixby Optimist Club, so many times I have to email the Optimist board to get something done. And if I want to email the Optimist board the normal way, I have to click on New Email, to, change it to Contacts, scroll down till I find the Optimist board group, click to, click OK, and start typing. Okay? Nothing wrong with that, right? But watch this. Which way's faster?
That one that you just did?
Yeah. It's called a quick step. I just created a predefined email settings and set it as a quick step. And I'll show you how I did that. Pardon me.
Show me that process again, the quick step process.
You want to see it again?
Yeah,
Don't blink now because you'll miss it.
that's right there.
It's
Okay,
right there. You want to see it again?
I got it.
What does it say though?
Optimist board.
It just says
Okay, I
op.
see.
So what I'm going to do is, and there's a bunch of, if you can click New Quick Step and New Email to, and I can set this to the Optimist, how do you spell that? P-T-I-M-I-S, Optimist Club. I have this bad habit of capitalizing it, because now what I'm going to do is click on to, and I'm going to go over here and click on Contacts, and I've got a group called Optimist Club. And click on to and click OK. And I'm going to show you, you can go into Options, and you can see where we can add a blind copy. I'm going to actually add a blind copy, and the blind copy is going to be, whoops, to the Optimist Club. Okay? And the to is going to be to me. And I'll show you why I'm going to do this in a minute.
No.
Okay, and I don't wanna put a subject on there, I can set the importance to high importance, because anytime I contact the Optimist Club, it's gotta be important. You know, and I'm gonna click save. And the reason I did that is because when I click on Optimist Club now, I'm gonna have an email sent to me and a blind copy sent to the Optimist Club. Now, the Optimist Club list group has about 100 people in there. Why did I blind copy them and send the email to me?
Well, each person would get it and they wouldn't look at the whole list.
That's right, that hides the list. So everybody thinks that they just got an email from me, because in the to field it's just to them. Now, there's other good reasons for that. We've actually had some,
Now, if I hit reply, is it just gonna
if you
go
go
back
to
to
reply
you?
all, it's just gonna come back to me, because I'm the only one you know about.
You don't even know that there's others involved.
You don't even know there's others involved. It kind of it keeps if you're trying to keep a list, send an email out to all of your clients, you probably want to blind copy them all, because otherwise they're going to know your entire client list. You could accidentally give out your client list that way. I do it also to kind of keep the to field clean. Now, if I want everybody to be able to reply to all, then I'll put them into the reply to all. But, you know, sometimes those reply to alls become a,
Okay.
Okay, so if you put them in blind copy, it's only gonna go to them.
yeah.
So it means if you're hitting a certain group of people.
You know, I always, because I don't want them replying to all of them, and then I get 18,000 emails about stuff I don't care about.
And it always gets off subject.
Yes. Okay, so that's a quick step. And there's more things you can do with a quick step. You see this, did she accept it, or
I said maybe.
She's
Maybe.
willing to.
she's thinking about it, huh?
She's
Okay,
a tough sell.
now I have another quick step up there called done. And now there's a folder over here somewhere. Somewhere there's a folder called done. And if I click done to that, what it did was it marked it as red and moved it into that folder called done. So if you're trying to move things around and auto reply to a lot of emails and stuff, create these quick steps to help automate the process. I could grab,
So if you have
Is
several tasks
is
in
that
one
something
day.
you've created or something?
yeah, I
automatically
created
set
it.
up?
I just went in there to quick steps and add new quick step, move to folder.
Where's that quick steps? I might miss that.
She missed that.
If you click on because I've got so many, I've got to click on this little drop
Okay,
down
under
arrow
more.
and click on new quick step, move to folder.
Okay.
And then you can change, and then you have all sorts of options. You can mark it as red, you can move it to the folder called move to folder, and I'm gonna move it to see there's a folder called done somewhere.
Is that what you've called
Yeah,
it?
it's just a folder I created. I can move it to Miss Bixby 2014.
Done.
And I can mark it as red, I can click save, and basically with that one, I can now go Miss Bixby 2014, and that email just got moved in there and it's marked as red. And you can highlight 50 emails and click done, and it moves them all into that folder immediately.
For several tasks too.
Yeah, you can do move to folder, you could highlight, create a task, you could reply, you could set automatic replies up and everything like that.
Okay, so that creates your folder.
Now, another thing you can,
Questions maybe?
oh, any questions? Okay. Another thing you can use Outlook for is tasks. You know, things that you need to do. So I'm going to click, now I can click over onto my task process, and I can click new task. And this task can be, you know, mow the lawn, which I already did.
It's gonna grow back.
Now I put Roundup on.
Huh?
Trying to solve that problem. And I can set the start date, oh, here we go. I can set the start date to next Thursday,
You can make it continue.
and status is not started, the due date is on the same day. I could set a recurrence to recur every week on Thursday, and click OK. And now it's a recurring task. So every Thursday I've got to mow the lawn. And then I'm going to click Save and Close.
But you didn't set your reminder, so you could forget.
Yeah, well, it'll remind me. She always tells me I should remind like 5 hours ahead of time.
I believe if you're having a meeting, don't set your reminder 15 minutes, because then sometimes we get too busy,
You're on the
And
other
then-
side of town.
and then all of a sudden at 15 minutes. So if you know it's an important reminder, set it at least 5 or maybe 20 or 18 hours ahead. So then you kind of know what you're going to do, because sometimes we plan and we don't go in there and say, remind in an hour, remind in 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden we're at another appointment, and that reminder comes up, oh, I'm supposed to be someplace in 15 minutes. This way, if you set your reminders up at least an hour ahead, you've got plenty of time to think about that.
Let's say 18 hours, I'm not forgetting
And
it.
move around.
I set mine up
Right between
18
an hour
hours.
and 3 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
about 3 hours.
Go check her clocks. Her clocks are 30 minutes fast.
Oh, Jason's are too, like our bathroom.
Okay, so I've got my
I don't know if I
reminder
did.
set at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm saving and closing. And you'll see that that task is over there on the left, on the right. Mow the, if I made this bigger, mow the lawn. Now, because this is an iPhone, if I go to my iPhone, and the iPhone has something called reminders.
I use
So if
that.
I go to my reminders on the iPhone, mow the lawn is there.
Oh,
So it syncs up to the reminders on your iPhone.
I like that.
Do we know how it does in Android?
I know. But I know how it does on an iPhone.
Okay.
Nice, because I've been typing mine manually
Maybe someone
on
needs to get your
reminders.
phone.
I am not doing iPhone.
If I get a new phone, I'm thinking of a Windows mobile phone.
Oh, really?
Well, you know, being a Windows guy.
Oh,
But
that's
then I
Samsung.
can't, but then I can't use my fancy
Yeah, I
cover.
cannot do it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like Android.
You know, I'm just
If I had an
But I need to
Android,
Google
like
how to
an
do
Android
Google.
laptop
It is
or an
nice.
Android
I know,
thing,
specially
your
designed for
tablet,
this.
Are
if I had
there some
both,
special questions that people came?
Yeah, is there, because I'm just hitting some of these good generic things. Is there anything that you really want to learn? in
so I
particular?
have, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I have my, well, you said that for me, so you know what I have. So my business email forwarded to my Outlook.
Actually, you
It's a
don't
question.
anymore. No, you have, your Outlook is pulling your business email
Okay,
down.
so I don't have a true, do people have an Outlook email, or is it actually Ashley
Okay.
at Arctic Falls Water?
Here's-
How's everyone?
Let me
email
define
set
this
up?
stuff. Outlook is an application. Word is an application, Excel is an application, so and they all form the Microsoft Office suite of applications. Outlook is an application that sends and receives email, or allows you to read email and everything like that. The holder of the email is called an email server, and that server, if it's a Microsoft version, it's called an Exchange server. Exchange is the Microsoft email server. If it's Gmail, then it's the Gmail servers that are up at Google. If it's a Yahoo email, then it's the email servers that are up at Yahoo, and so forth. Your Outlook client is connected to the Exchange server or to the email server up at whoever's hosting your email.
Okay.
Some companies have when they get their website company hosts their email too. They've just got some simple servers up there, and you're connecting to them, and they're just sending the email to the Outlook client.
Edward Jones has their own servers, so everything that you do goes through.
Yeah.
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 But as long as you know all of the settings, you could receive any email
So
in
technically,
Outlook.
so technically I
that
can be on any
you can
computer and
utilize-
use my Outlook email.
It depends on your IT department and what they want you and what they will allow you
Right.
to take.
And it also depends upon your whole email server setting. You'll notice that I have Outlook open, and I'm not in my corporate environment. The cool thing is, and that is a capability of an Exchange server, and it's called Outlook Anywhere. And what that means is anywhere that I have internet connectivity, I can open up my Outlook and it will connect to my Exchange server. The firewalls have all been pre-configured, but it'll set, and it's a very secure, encrypted connection to the email server. Not all companies have that capability. A lot of companies say if you're not inside our building, Outlook will not work because it's designed to only talk to the servers that are inside the building.
So like even if you're on computer A and computer B in your company, it may not.
It may not, yeah. The
So,
Outlook
because
has
I
to
got
be,
a different computer upstairs in my office the other
and that
day,
Outlook's not set up.
and but if I download all of my,
Okay, in your scenario, when you connect in, you're using a
Special
protocol
needs.
called IMAP or POP, and you're telling the server, the first one that connects to it, download the things from the server. So when the second computer attempts to connect, there's nothing there anymore, because the first client has already grabbed them all.
okay.
So you'd have to tell it, oh, just download a copy, leave those up, so my other computer can get to it.
Okay.
I personally, okay, I don't take this one everywhere. I only brought this computer for the demos. This is my computer everywhere I go now. And anywhere I go, I can turn this on, open up Outlook, and check my email. As long as I have internet connectivity. So I don't use the Outlook website or anything like that anymore because it's all there. I like this interface the best.
What is that?
This is a Windows Surface. It's usually running Windows 8. It's,
It's like an
Is it
iPad,
iPad?
it's the same
oh
concept.
no, it's way better.
Oh, well, I mean, but it's the same concept.
That's
what I'm asking.
Easy.
Yeah, that's not good. This is a Surface. It's like an iPad, but yet way better because it runs a full Windows operating system. It has a full version of Office on there and
That's what I
everything.
said.
It's called
And
Surface?
Right.
It's called the Surface.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, you know,
so
I
let's say next week I'm in Perry, Oklahoma, and I have a client that calls and they need an issue. Instead of me lugging that big laptop, I can just have my Surface and I can go, if I need to do a go-to-meeting with that client, I can do a go-to-meeting with that client. I can do anything with that client. I can go up there and go up on his
Yeah.
website and see.
We have our computers. This Surface does not have a Wi-Fi card in it. But, you know, like an iPad, there's one version of the iPad that has a Wi-Fi card into it, and one version that just has, one version that has a phone
Has a
capability,
sound
data
you
plan,
get
and the other
4G,
version
yeah.
doesn't. Well, my phone has a data plan on it.
So it's called a hotspot, would that be
Yeah,
my
so I
hotspot?
hotspot my phone,
Okay.
Right.
and I use my
Ah.
That's what
I'm
to
doing,
connect
yeah.
into that. So I don't
Question
pay $10 extra.
Yeah.
on those two, okay? The thing about Outlook, I have a Samsung Galaxy as far as the, take along, and I, click on the email and so on and so forth, but I can't really do all of my filing into all of the millions of folders that I have in Outlook. If you have Surface and that, does it mirror
Yes,
all of
if
the
I
folders?
put something into a folder on this one, it'll be in the
It's
folder
gonna
on
be
this
on that one, okay.
Yeah, because this is all stored in the Exchange environment.
Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting,
Yeah, because I can't access my folders.
yeah, I mean, I can look at it, I can read it, I can reply, and it's all in the sense or the whatever,
Yeah,
but I
the
can't, get them into all of my organized folders if I'm working off of my Samsung, so that's a
Okay.
good reason to have a service.
Oh, the server, I love it. Now, let's talk, where is my email?
She had another question.
Oh, I thought that was it.
No, I'm actually, I hate to, I'm gonna.
Let's talk, where's my email? I have 9,457 emails in my inbox. And I know, you could say clean up, things like that, I could do that.
Inalienable.
Now, you see the top part where it says search the inbox? I love this feature. It's right up there. It's right up here. It says search inbox. I love this feature. I'm trying to get somebody else to fall in love with this. I haven't quite convinced them of this. Because she will ask me all the time, hey, where's this? You know, so I said, you know, all you have to do is start typing something. I want something from, well,
You need to put it in quotes.
no.
Do you have to know exactly how you named it?
No, you just gotta type a word.
Can you tell
Here,
maybe
Bob.
Cinder's word?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I just narrowed the thing down to 200 items. So Bob is in every one of these emails. It may not be to Bob, it may just have the word Bob somewhere in the email. But I immediately just narrowed it down. And then I can do sorting here. I can arrange by date, from, to, and I can narrow it down several times. Okay, pretty cool, right?
So you know if it happened in the last 2 weeks, you just throw that in and, okay.
Now, with that being said, if we scroll down here, you see these things called search folders. Search folders have pre-configured search criteria set into them. So if there's something that you always need to search for, like I do some work for a company in Stillwater, but I don't do it on a very often basis, so I'll write an email to myself and then I'll forget about it, and then a month later they'll ask me to do something, I'll go, well, what was that? So, and I got really tired of having to search for it all the time, so I created a search folder based on that. So when I click on that search folder, everything to do with that company's name and everything is now in that. It just finds, automatically searches for me. So I could go into search folders, right-click search folder, click new search folder, and see you could look for unread email, but I'm going to create a custom search folder and specify the criteria to choose, and we're going to name this one
Miss Bixby 2015.
Miss Bixby. If I do this, it'll probably find 8 million items. And the criteria is that the search words have Miss Bixby. And that's the only thing, it doesn't matter who it's from, but you could criteria it down if you wanted to. Click OK, click OK, click OK, and it's now generating it. This might be a large one.
Did he give us, you've got our card in case you have more questions.
So there's only 307. Actually, that's pretty good.
Thank you so much.
Okay? And now I'm going to show you one thing that has nothing to do with Outlook, but it works on the same
Can we tell
thing.
them, if you do the Gmail and let's say you cannot, something does not come through. Remember when I said some things get blocked in your Outlook?
Oh, that's a really, yeah.
Even, some things might get blocked in your corporate email account, but if you do have a Gmail account, and let's say you delete something in your Outlook, you can always go back to your original Gmail account and find that. Because a lot of times somebody will say, I emailed you, did you not get that email? No, actually I didn't get that email. Well,
It's because she's got an auto delete on you.
because because it might have some word or something that I've said no to, but then I can always go back and trace it through Gmail.
Yeah, and
If you
she
have
actually
email.
brought up another point. I could send her 100 emails and they will all go into the inbox. And then the 101st email will go into her junk email.
Because,
I was gonna say, I've received some with my junk email.
Even though you right click it and say save sender and it still goes into junk mail, here's why. The Outlook client and the Exchange server are learning your email. They're intelligent systems. And what they're looking at is trends and things like that. So if I send something that's out of the norm of what I usually type you and send to you, the system is going to think that that's junk. and it's gonna automatically junk it, and it's doing it to protect you. And you can go in there and say, this is a safe sender. I could go into Jim Hudson right here and say, you know, junk, never block this sender, and it doesn't matter. I can tell you why this one went to junk mail, because it says ransom virus on there. And Jim Hudson is the best friend of mine that I get 100,000 emails from, and it junked it, because he was sending me information about a ransom virus.
Had you already pre-programmed it? If it says ransom virus, to junk it?
No, it learned that that's just a bad thing.
Probably the
What
word
was it, the word
The
virus?
word virus, well, the word ransom and virus. But I mean, he wrote two bad things in there, but it learns over time, and it doesn't matter. So I tell everybody, you need to check your junk mail on a regular basis, because somebody may have sent you a valid email that just got junked.
I get him from the wellness center, from the gentleman, Dr. what's his name? But his wellness emails will go to junk mail. But if you click on it, the email in the junk mail, it'll say, do you want to save to move to folder? How do you do that?
It, like right
Because
here.
I tried to do it and then it
Well,
won't do
the
it.
easiest way to move it is just to drag and drop it.
Oh,
I can
okay.
just drag and drop it into the inbox,
Okay.
and it'll move it in there.
And then once it sees it in the inbox, then when I get others, then
Not
it will accept
necessarily.
it. It won't.
just
Okay.
depends on the content of the email.
Okay.
Yeah, my quarantine.
If you want to try to make sure, you can right click the junk mail and go to junk and say never block the sender,
Okay.
and that'll put it into quote the safe sender list.
Okay.
So it should never block it, but what I'm telling you is it'll, depending on what's in the email, it'll still block it.
So basically, just leave it as it is, because he may have received
And he
something
might
in
have,
the future, or
he
like in
might
the
have
past.
had a virus.
Right.
that-
In the
Yeah.
past.
And you got to be careful. Here are some rules. If you don't know who the person emailing you is,
Right.
do not open that email.
Right.
You know, if somebody randomly sends you an email and you don't know who it is, don't open it. If you're just bloody curious about it, and it just can't get you, open it on your phone.
If you're
Because-
really curious about it, you
Or open
can
it
do
up
what
on
I
somebody
do.
else's computer.
I don't even open it up.
Our Richard's computer.
I just go on I have a very dear friend, and he's always sending me junk,
Well, they
funny
funny
things or anything
emails.
like that. And before I click it, I'll just go over there, and instead I'll just go to the preview file and just go down the preview file. Because in that way, I'm not clicking it, but I'm seeing if I really want it or not. Because if somebody, we all have friends that like to send us the
That's
greatest
right.
riddle
Stuff.
for the day or something like that. Just because they're sending you that riddle doesn't mean that it doesn't have a virus attached to it. So I never open jokes or riddles. I'll just scan down there and see. And then if I really think it's okay, then I'll hit it.
But if you don't know who it is, don't open it. If you have any questions, don't open it, because it will destroy your computer in seconds.
But when it's highlighted and you don't open it, then you just right click and then delete it, because if you click it to delete it, then it opens it.
Yeah, just right click delete it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to show you one more search thing. If you have Windows 7 and you click on Start, you see that search? This searches your entire computer. So if you don't know where something is, type it in there. Now I'm going to type in Miss Bixby. There are 469 documents on my computer, 12 pictures, 1,883 emails, 24 files on my computer that relate to Miss Bixby. It just searched my entire hard drive system and showed me everything I needed to know.
That went your Word, Excel documents,
It
everything.
doesn't matter what it is, it just searched the entire structure. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That's how I found out what operating system I was on.
And that way, because there are many times I'll file, save, and I don't know where it is. Now, where did I save that? Any questions?
How long do you think it'll be before 7 goes out of date, like XP?
Well, XP came out in 2003, so that took 11 years.
And it
Well-
wasn't the most
And Windows 7,
exciting.
But the thing is when when they were still selling the XPs because, Microsoft was still selling with XPs in the computers. So I bought one at Best Buy, and then it said you can download Microsoft or Windows 8 for free, and I never did it because
Don't do it.
well, no, but they did that in advance because they knew that it was going to be
Oh, yeah.
obsolete, but they didn't tell everybody it's going to be obsolete. So now since it's obsolete, I was told to go through Google Chrome.
Mhm.
I can still use my computer, but just go through Google Chrome,
Yeah.
and it'll be all right.
There's a myriad of problems on with 8.
No, really,
Our new ones have 8, and I guess you can still do 7 on 8. You can go back and
I
revert.
don't know.
I've had 8 for over a year. I love it.
Well,
Is there a place where you can go and have training on 8? Because I have it and I've
yes,
worked my way
they're
through it.
training companies.
I need to find one because
Or classes.
yeah,
Oh.
I noticed that I put everything in a folder. Like if you send me, I make a folder on you and get an email, that's important, I better keep that. I'll throw it in the folder. I started noticing that everything after 2 months was gone.
You probably have an auto cleanup. So is that using Office 2013?
I'm not sure about that, but I went through Google again and I saw that everybody was having that same kind of problem. So then I panicked and tried to get everything off of there over into the cloud. My
There's
company offers a
there's
cloud.
an auto cleanup in the office to get rid of stuff faster, to try to keep the hard drives cleaner.
And there are some companies,
They preset it.
they preset it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I worked for New Horizons, we went in there and every 30 days, your inbox was cleaned out. Your deleted was cleaned out.
That's
Everything was,
scary.
Now,
everything was
the other
cleaned
thing
out.
about Windows
Inbox.
8,
But that's because because
well,
if you
similar,
don't
it's
have a
data
high,
size.
yeah, it's your data, and if you don't have a really powerful server, Exchange server, those things need to be cleaned out because it down.
So what do you do when you try to find those 30-day-old messages?
They're
Well,
gone.
they're gone.
45-year-old days.
Well,
when I look for
Well,
customers,
you
I'm like,
change the
oh,
settings
you
or
change
you
it.
But it's-
change.
Folders.
But
I
it
did
should
too.
tell you, because like
Right.
when I worked with
Right.
SCI, it would tell you this email will be good for a year. And then
Yes.
after that anniversary date, it automatically wipes out.
And you can always copy that email
Right.
again.
Well,
Win-
and that's
Windows-
what, let me just make a comment on that, and, because I know less about computers than anybody at this room, but in my panic, realizing I'm losing my important emails, I tried to right-click, save as, and get it over to my desktop, so from my desktop I could take it to the cloud and keep it there.
More advanced than I am.
As long as it's an attachment, I can do that. But if it's an email, you can't. And if you try to copy it, cut and paste, and you take it over, it's just gobbledygook when you get it over there.
Yeah, give us a call. We can fix that.
Okay.
Sounds like someone needs
Because
to
it-
brush
it-
up on 8 and teach
I have 8. I love it.
teach a class on
Here's
8.
one thing about Windows 8.
Yes.
It is designed for a touchscreen computer. If you don't have a touchscreen computer, you're going to not really like it. The
Because
other
all
thing
those
is,
apps
you see
like
that
that on
start
it.
button that when I click
I
on
wanna touch
start
mine all the
and
time.
all of that stuff, like, well, when I click on start, you see all that? That's gone.
It's going with 8.
That's not there on 8 anymore. There's a button,
Yeah.
it's called a Start Charm.
Mhm.
And they actually brought it back in Windows 8.1. But I mean, it's gone. This thing is designed to be used on a touchscreen. That's why I like the Surface, because it's a touchscreen.
Well, on the
I
Windows
touch
8,
it on my button. I touch my screen
because
all the
my
time.
computer, my laptop is a touch screen too. I didn't know that until I did that, and I was like, oh, cool. So, but if you're typing and stuff, and then you just move the mouse to a certain area, then all of a sudden that other window comes in, and then you have this black screen with all the the icons over there, and then you try to get it off to get back.
And the date comes up and the time comes up.
So
every
why
time
does
you
it
move
do that? I mean,
Time.
Well,
I called them and asked them that too, and,
Uh-huh.
and it's designed where when you put your cursor over here, it's going to throw the date.
because it's
up.
opening up the control panel. Yeah, because
it bothers
Okay,
me.
here's-
I'm just like,
I'm
I'm just
scrolling
scrolling
and it
thing, and
switches
all of
my
a sudden
screen
it
over.
just
I'm like,
freezes everything.
I know that our guys at work hate it.
yeah,
Honestly,
I
I've had
think
training
Windows 8
guys
is
that
going to
have
be
the
you're going to
wireless
have to have some
printer.
training. Again, this is
It's
my
awful.
Surface. Let me log into it.
I didn't realize, I don't know if mine's touchscreen or not. I hadn't tried that.
Well, see, my company just gave me a laptop, and they didn't tell me
Hey,
or
thank
anything,
you
and
very
our
much.
IT guy
Yeah.
put everything in there, and then when I got it, and then I was just
Don't
playing
forget
with
to
it.
Don't forget to turn in
Got it
your
right there.
operation.
I was gonna tell
And don't
Okay.
forget to grow your flowers.
Thank you.
There
I'll set a reminder.
you go.
Thanks. Thanks again, Richard.
Is there a different type of class that you might be interested in us showing an hour's worth to you on
You're talking
something
about
certain?
that screen coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Windows 8,
I would
Windows
be,
8.
I'd be the first
And
one
then
to do that.
sometimes it will just, it
Because I
will,
worked my
I'll be
way through it.
typing, and it'll
That's-
tell
I'd
me
even-
this
I'd
whole
even
thing
pay for
up.
that.